Back to the design studio. Today I have a custom order that a customer had asked me to create, and I thought I would invite you into the process to see how we would go about making this. Now, I did search Pinterest and Google and all the things, and there is none like it. So we're doing a first. So if you caught the event notification that I'm starting to put out before all the lives, as long as I know what those are, you should be able to set up some sort of notification that when I go live, you should get that notification for the event. So today we are taking a stroll with a snowman who wants to experience all of the holidays and not just celebrate winter and Christmas and maybe a little bit of the early winter holidays. So a client had a very specific request for a very specific sign. So we are going to work a design around that, and I wanted to invite you along. So before we get started, if you want to save this tutorial and you're on Facebook, just click the share button down below. It'll do a quick copy paste to you and you'll have that video on your Facebook page where it will be handy for you. If you are on YouTube, simply click the save button and this will save to your YouTube account. Also, if you want to be notified when I go live and I haven't created an event for it, if you just make sure that you've liked this page and follow it. Those are like the important things that you need to do both. Like is easy enough to find. It's the follow button that's hidden, but it's to the right of the blue button on the page, those three little dots. If you click on it, you should open up a small little sub menu. You just want to make sure that it says turn notifications on and that is checked. If it is, you're all good to go. If you were on YouTube and you want to be notified when I have a new video uploaded, just make sure you subscribe to the channel or click on the subscription button. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Let me make sure I can pull up your comments. I see them coming through on my Mevo screen, but I want to make sure I can physically see them because sometimes things don't map over the way that we would like. So give me just 1 second and I will make sure I'm good to go here because I can't do it beforehand. I have to wait for us to go live before I can do that. Thanks, Jan. She says, try to stay warm. So if you guys saw my picture earlier, I showed you why my shop is notoriously cold. Despite whatever the weather is like outside, it actually sits in the shadow or the shade of our tree lines. And we're not going to cut the trees, but it keeps the sun from being able to hit the shop. And so when I went out there this morning, there was ice on the roof and ice on the door handle. So I have been heating this up since about 9:30 this morning, and we're at 55 degrees, which is okay. So I just dress warmer when we come in here. Let me go ahead and pin that. Is it good evening? It should be good evening, right, Joan? From Northeast UK at 10 p.m. Absolutely. So let me go ahead and pivot you down and we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay. So here is our workspace. We are using green and white. And like I said, if you saw the sneak peek earlier, this is the sign that we are creating. So it is client specific. Oops. I'm trying to hold it so we can get rid of the glare. There we go. It is a snowman dressed for St. Patrick's Day. And I thought, oh, how interesting. What if, it's like a children's book, right? What if a snowman wanted to visit all of the holidays? So this one is going to be designed for St. Patrick's Day. The sign is a 10-inch round you can get from Pam at Personalize It By Pam on Etsy. So we're using the 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath frame. We're sticking with the colors of white and green. We're also going to kind of go in with different shades of green. So this is going to kind of be a little bit of a monochromatic design. Not meaning black and white, but staying with shades of green, lighters and darkers. darkers. That's not even a word. Lighter and dark, right? Okay, so I've done the first 5 sections, and right here in the center, Joan, Cheryl, you're so funny. You need to write that child's book. I was thinking about that today. After I thought about it, Snowman wants to visit all the holidays, and he doesn't want to give up, you know, going back into water and then waiting for winter again. So we're going to wire together the 2 inside rings closest to the center. We're using the weld marks right here to come up with like an in-between stage. So just find one that works for you. And then I'm going to take a white pipe cleaner and I'm going to wire together the outside 2. And that'll just help give it stability there. Oops. It's supposed to go over here. I'm like looking at how I have these paired. I'm like, why do I have 2 white here? It's because your white needs to move down, Kat. So we're going to take a green. I'll put the green to the left. Okay. So there we have it. And like I said, I try to make sure that the spacing between all of these is roughly about 3 inches. Because the inside is easy enough to make sure that it's all pretty well balanced. The outside, what I don't want to see is that these 2 become closer than these 2 do. So I'm looking to make them all pretty much the same distance all the way around. So now we're getting ready to lay in our Deco mesh, and this is the Deco mesh that I picked. So why this color? Well, in my head, I was already thinking, oh, I'm going to do a white snowball mesh. White snowball mesh would just be really pretty, and we could pop all the greens. This is what happens when you take this sign and let me move this over. When we take that snowball mesh and match it with this, it kind of washes everything out. Okay, so I wasn't really thrilled with the way that was looking. If it would have popped up against that background, and I think it's because the background right here is a creamy color, and that's why it's not making a connection. But when I take this color and I lay it next to there, we have like a really cool look to this. We can see the definitive outline of what is all the details that are in this border. And we're still keeping the white and the lime green colors through here. So these are going to be cut to 20-inch pieces with the wood burning tool, so that helps reduce the frays that are happening. We are curling against the curl, the natural curl, so we want them to lay flat. We're just picturing an invisible line right up the center, and we're just going to gather our Deco mesh ruffles in about, there's a little fuzz on there, in about 1/2 inch increments, and I'm going to do all the inside first. So that means we're going to do the 6 inside first. So we're going to lay that as even as possible. We're doing finished edges to the inside. I'm going to remove the 6 inside. So that's why I'm like, let's just tackle the inside and then we can just move to the outside and stay to the outside. So we'll go ahead and do this one. Aw, Jen says that snowman needs to make his home in the ice rink all year round. Right? He could just live there. Because you would think he either has to be like in deep freeze storage. I guess he could live in somebody's deep freezer year round. I just have to come up with the plot line for that. Like, how would the snowman obviously make it through the summer holidays? We'll see. We'll see. You just might be surprised. Okay, so it's going to look like it is a pancake style wreath, but it is not. A pancake wreath would feature 6 pieces of Deco mesh to the outside and then 6 to the inside. Well, we are doing the inside 6, but we are definitely thickening up the outside by adding 12. That's where we get the 18 pipe cleaners from. 6 on the inside, 12 to the outside. Okay, there we go. And we're just going to tuck that leftover piece right to the center. Okay, and I like to use the Deco mesh that's the curliest. Send it to the UK, because even in the summer it can be so cold. Hey, there's an idea, Joan, right? He just, he crosses overboard in a frozen freight shipping container so that he could not melt on his way there. How wonderful that would be. Okay, we're going to lay this one in. And like I said, I'm just twisting probably about 4 or 5 times. And then whatever's left, I'm just removing the leftover. And then we're tucking that down towards the center. And trying to find the curliest, the tightest rolled pieces. Because then that way, the other pieces of Deco mesh can lay on the top and keep that pretty flat. So I'm taking my outside ones, I'm just laying them down to get them out of the way. Move that one out. Okay, take that, tuck that back in. And now we're going to do this last piece. See, Cheryl said he'd have to travel in a freezer with a window so that he could see outside. I know, isn't this Deco mesh beautiful? It was funny because I was like, when I pulled the snowball mesh, I was like, I'm not really liking that. But I definitely want it to have a softer vibe. So rather than go with an emerald green, I think I only had 1 roll of this. And it was from Craft Outlet, but it's been a while. So I don't know if they still carry this. We shall see. Okay, so as you can see, there's our 6 inside. And like I said, most people would say that this is a pancake wreath, but it's not. So here's where we're going to separate. So I am going to split. We're going to grab the 2 with that center rail right between. And I just made room for those to be there. And we're going to do the same thing, but now we're going to lay them directly on top of the center ones that we've already laid or placed in here. So I was like trying to think of the very best scenario if I had to teach how to make this, that this is the way it would go. And so I'm taking the ends, folding those over, and then right here, because we do not have that piece in the center, I'm just taking the edges right here and kind of bending them over. And as you can see, it kind of is creating an opportunity for that center so that this will be slightly under and this one will lay right on top of just the right edge of that Deco mesh piece. And this is really nice, thick Deco mesh, so it's got a good weight to it. It doesn't feel thin. It's got some heavy white foils that you can see that kind of create those little grid patterns. And so it's easier just to take your Deco mesh sometimes and lay them behind your pipe cleaner. Here I'm going to open it. And then I'm going to find again that right piece. And here's the left piece. Just right there. So that we can move through those. I feel like a cat too, because it's like we have sun coming through, and as long as the windows are not open, it's really warm. So I've kind of just been sharing space with my cats. I'm just sitting in the sunny spaces in the windows and getting that little vitamin D pull. So again, fold your ends over, and then I'm prepping these for our ribbon tails to come by putting them up and down. It's just prepping for the next decomesh to come in. Okay, here's our adjoining piece, so we want to make sure we have our decomesh above and our decomesh below it. Okay, and once again, we're going to lay that right on top. It's going to feel definitely very spring-like. Again, make sure that we're folding our edges over, prepping our pipe cleaners, and then I need to grab this other one over here, get those ones ready, and again get this one ready, pull that back over. What are you guys working on? Hi, Arvina. She also says, what's the weather like in your world? That is very true. Everyone's got weird weather. Can you believe the snow in Florida? It is just like mind-blowing. And we still have not gotten any snow this year. So, I don't know. Hi, Deborah. She said, good evening, Kat and everyone. Very cute sign. Love the Shamrocks. It's going to be beautiful. She said, I wish I could stay, but duty calls. Have fun, everyone. Snowman. Icon, the little emoji in the Shamrocks. Thank you for that. Okay. We're going to make sure we match up those ends. It's only with the emerald green ones. That's where it's making that connection point. I might have to see if this decomesh is still available to order because I really like the quality a lot. I had to look to the skies to see if pigs were flying when I saw the blizzard in Florida, right? I had someone who sent me video and I was like, are you kidding me? We can't get snow in Washington for anything. And you guys in Florida that are not used to getting snow have the snow. Aw, thank you for the stars, Deborah. She says you're a star and sent 200 stars. So if you guys want to know what the stars are, those are a way that you can actually, I guess, tip your viewers. Each star is 1 cent. So you can just basically send people stars and support their small business. Speaking of which, if you guys are interested in joining the private group, we have made it what's called a 3-in-1 now, so that you get 3 groups for the price of 1. So you can take advantage of the Wreath of the Month group with no additional fee if you sign up now at my website that is pinned below at KatsCreationsNMore.com. So you have the design class, you'll have the business academy, and you'll have the virtual Wreath of the Month group where you get the materials in advance, you can order them, and then we all co-create together on one day each month. So it's kind of like a virtual wreath making class. So you could technically be in your pajamas and make a wreath. You don't have to go anywhere. You can stay in your home and stay warm. Okay, again, making sure that goes behind my pipe cleaner. Everything is straight up and down. It's just prepping for what comes next. So we'll pull the other two back out right here. Make sure that goes over. Oh, thank you, Carol. She said, I spread the love out loud. Thank you so much. She said, I almost missed your live. Yeah, Thursdays we go live at 2. And that's really going to help me out a lot in the summer. Because in the summer, it starts, like, our sun doesn't set till like 10 p.m., which is crazy. Which means that the heat stays. And so 4 and 5 o'clock becomes really super hot in the shop. And then we have the opposite problem where everything is really hot. And but the great thing is that we can, like, I can go out and take pictures of my designs all the way until like 8:30 p.m. because it's still daylight outside, which freaks people out when I FaceTime them and they're like, is it still light where you are? And I'm like, yep. Do you want to see what it looks like outside? And they were like, that is crazy. Which it is. It stays light here longer in the summer. Okay. Again, just making sure we've got all of our pieces in the right place. Folding over our edges so it looks nice and pretty. We're down to the last 2 pieces. So I'm going to pull those out. Okay, there we go. They were like, didn't want to separate for some reason. Alrighty. And then wait till you see what that sign looks like when we pop it. Oh, you're currently making stencils from Mylar on my Cameo 4. Nice. My daughter has some ideas for baby announcement plaques. The weather in the UK is very suddenly changing. The climate change all over the world is very worrying. It is, but it can be redeemed. I think man's been trying to temper with that. They've been trying to manipulate it for a while. And so if they just leave things be, then it'd be good. Okay, let me get out of that one. Okay, so let's see this. And I tried to look this up. I tried Googling St. Patrick's Day Snowman Wreath. Nothing. Look for it on Etsy. Nothing. Look for it Pinterest. Nothing. So, that's a good thing. It just means that you created a one and only design that nobody else has seen yet. Okay, so there is our wreath base, and obviously the emerald green pipe cleaners stick out the most. But that'll be remedied once we put all of our ribbons in. But look at this now. Look how well that just kind of, it's a very subtle look on that green. That's going to look fabulous. Okay, so let me show you the ribbon combos. So these are what I picked out to play with, not only the colors in the sign, but also in keeping with the St. Patrick's Day design. Because he's like covered in St. Patrick's Day clovers and flowers and everything else. So we are definitely taking, let me show you the sign. So we're definitely taking the leprechaun hat because it is exactly the hat that he is wearing. And this is a 2.5-inch ribbon cut to 14-inch pieces, and I'm pairing that with two-tone. It's got that lime green and emerald green Shamrocks on white 19-inch pieces for the 2.5. That's that combo. And then save this one, it's so pretty. Two-tone clovers or shamrocks, again 14 inches, and then pairing that with that lime green, which is going to pull the lime green in from our sign and introduce it to the ribbon that goes all the way around the outside. So those are combos. So we're going to fold our 2.5-inch pieces in half. And I'm trying to think, which ones do I want to put where? Yes. I want the Leprechaun hat being with the emerald green, because once we come in with this color, which is the two-tone glittery shamrocks, we're going to pinch in about 2 inches from the top. Once we've brought our dovetailed edges together, we're going to lay that right on the inside. Okay. And let's see. I was like thinking, do I want to add the little glitter balls to the outside? I don't think I want to take away from the glitter in the ribbon and the glitter in the deco mesh, so I'm going to remove those. I'm going to take this leftover piece, I'm going to tuck it all the way around in the back so that I can open that, and then we can display both sides of that ribbon. Now this one is going to go where all the white is. Again, fold it in half. You're going to go right up the center. You're going to lay that right in the middle. One twist, fan that out, and now we're going to take that. It's like a lime green. It's not so much a glitter. I mean, very little glitter comes off, but it is definitely a sparkly kind of lime green. Because I felt that if we wanted to go softer, I'm going to play to the shamrocks and not all the typical St. Patrick's Day stuff like leprechauns and coins and all that stuff. So again, open that up. I always have to right side the wrong side of my ribbon, so it's always the left, just based on how I put them in. And then we are going to lift and separate those, just like that. So this is the combination of ribbons and their respective tails that are going on this design. Okay, so we will continue to go around until we use up all of our ribbon combinations. So we're back to the leprechaun hat. One twist. Put your fingers under the outside of that ribbon and draw it outward. Okay, we're going to go ahead and lay this, right in the center. Couple twist, twist, twist. And you could come back in and you could add emerald green and lime green scatters and fillers to this design. But like I said, my emphasis is not so much on the sparkly, it's just on the colors. There we go. I'm going to kind of have that kind of fall this way and pull that down. Hi, Maddie. Welcome. That is so funny. John says the title for the book is Patrick Snowball's Winter Adventures. But he's not just Patrick for like St. Patrick's Day. He's got to like go through Valentine's Day and, you know, then St. Patrick's Day and summer. got to make it through the 4th of July. I think that'd be a really cute book, though. You just never know. Okay. So many ideas for books. So I'm going way in because this ribbon is so thick and making sure that I really get the crease out of that ribbon. The one that I have to right side that extra ribbon piece. Just like that. It's going to be such a beautiful wreath. I like the lighter green. I think if I wanted it more heavy, I would have done an emerald. But doing it the lighter green with the white and just little pops of the green just doesn't make it feel as heavy. What do you guys think? Does this customer live in a place where they still have snow in March? I'm trying to think. Well, if we were to do that analysis, Florida never has snow in March. I don't know. I don't remember where they live. I want to say that they're in the upper northeast, if I had to wage a guess, but I can't say for sure. See, the snowfall this year just like ruined it for everything. You can't go with so. Does it normally get snow? Now normal is just out the window. But I do love that title. You know Colorado does? Oh, a lot. Like, I was so disappointed because I was looking at Facebook memories when those pop up and looking at when we got snow the first year we lived here and the second year, and I'm like thinking, okay, well, it might come in January because that's what everyone says. January is our snowy month. It's almost over and we haven't had any. So that theory's out the window for normal. I did order my book, Cheryl, for the study. I ordered it yesterday so that I could have season 2 ready. I think it snowed in the early 1900s in Louisiana. Not sure about Florida. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. There's that. We're going back around the horn. Open, flip, and back out. And I kind of like the green to play in here too. So just making sure we have a little bit of everything. Yeah, but you can go to a store. I don't have anywhere close by that I could go get that. So I just ordered it. And I think I'm supposed to have it Monday, which is good. I just need to post the link in the Bible study group so people can order their books for season 2. Because we're 2 weeks away from finishing the first one. There's that. I keep wondering, when are my chickens going to start laying their eggs again? Because these are all new chickens. So they're kind of on a different time schedule. So the egg production has slowed way down. Like they went on hiatus. So we'll see. She said, I know you live in a beautiful magical forest. I'm a little envious. I was thinking about that today. I was like, when I first lived here, I would just sit outside every morning with my coffee and listen to the wind in the trees and think, I am never going to get sick of this place, ever. So the desires of my heart is that I get to stay here forever. And I don't know why we didn't move sooner. This is, for me, my ideal climate. I love 4 seasons. Mostly rain, though. Okay, I'm going to overlap and get those ones going. A couple more, and then we can make our bow, add our sign, and then we can embellish with some more natural things that I was looking at in the sign. It's like he has berries. There's no gold anywhere except his buttons. But they're more wood. Just lots of clover. So that's why I picked the 2-tone green, because I'm just going to play to the clover side of things. Oh, you'll pray for me for that too. Thank you. Jen says here in the northeast UK, when I was younger, we used to get heavy snow mid-April and have winter snow at Easter. Oh, I bet that was fun as a kid. I'm sure your parents probably hated it though. Wreath sign design always has some nice signs that match up with the ribbons. If you're ever looking for a certain type of sign, Patricia also does personal signs if need be. She's amazing. That's awesome. I love that. Most of the time I don't know what my ribbons are going to look like, because I usually look for the inspiration from the sign and then design everything around what's in the sign. What are the colors? Oh my. Next week you guys are not going to want to miss. We're doing, I'm trying to think. We're doing 2, can't really call it, I guess they're Easter designs. One's more of a faith-based resurrection design for Easter. And then we're doing a whimsical French country Easter color palette. So like royal blues and yellows. And it is just going to be drop dead gorgeous. Okay, so this is our last ribbon going in. Last tail. Pushing those in. What do you guys think of the outline of all the ribbons and the colors? Do you think I stayed pretty true to the lighters? And I already have my glue gun on. Just double checked to make sure I did have it on. So I'm going to flip these around. Gotta grab that last little one right there. So look at that. How beautiful is that? I gotta keep looking at the sign. Look how that's gonna look. It's gonna be so gorgeous. Really, Cheryl? Green is your favorite color? I did not know that. Now I do, though. Okay. So we are going to bring in all the colors for our bow. So let me tell you where they're all from. Debbie, great question, says, where'd you get the Deco mesh from? It was from Craft Outlet. So the Leprechaun hat with the Shamrocks is from Craft Outlet. The two-tone shade of the Shamrocks. It's from Shinoda Design Center. They were a wholesaler when I used to live in California, so you could physically go in and shop the ribbons. So this is one that I've had, but have never had an opportunity to use until now. Then we are the lime green with the little sparkles. It's from Kringle Designs. And then we're going to introduce this, like, it's a sheer ribbon that has like light and dark shamrocks on it. So those two tones. This is from Shinoda as well. There's a lot of ribbon from Shinoda here. And then this emerald green to pull from the darker parts of his shades of green. And then our shamrocks on the white is from Craft Outlet. So covered all of those. Sign was from Personalize It by Pam on Etsy. Let's look at these and decide what I want to do and what is going to go where. I might do it like that. Dark, dark. I want this one on the end, and I want this one to be butted up against a darker color. So let's try that. So let me show you. We're going to start by dovetailing our ends of our ribbon, which is just bring your wired edges together. And you're going to cut from the folded side down to this wired point right here. So I like a deeper V, so I come up a little high so that when I cut it, it's a little deeper. Okay, so I am going to make this one 10 inches long for the tails. So I'm just going to gather my ribbon right at the 10 inches and I'm going to twist and I'll place that right inside the Bodabra. Now I've got wrong side fabric facing here. I'm just going to bring it up and around and bring it back to my 10-inch line on my cutting mat. So that when I pull my ribbon out, I want this to end at 5.5 inches, which it does. And then I'm going to do the same here. Okay, right here, we're like at 5 and it was like 5 3/4. And then I'm going to pull this back out 10 inches. We're going to cut, dovetail the end, just like so. And there's that. And first ribbon is done. Okay, now we're going to do that shamrock. It's so nice because it feels kind of almost velvety. So it's got a velvet-like feel to it. So we dovetailed the end and we're going to go 9.5 inches on this one. So we're gathering at 9.5. We're twisting. And we're going to go up and around. And we want 5-inch loops. So there's that. I want to make sure that ends right at 5 inches. Do the same. And I'm going to pull a little bit more. Okay. And then go back out to 9.5. Just like so. That one is done. I saw that the Wreath Shop has some pretty new spring ribbons. Oh, okay, I gotta show you guys this ribbon that I got today. It just came in today. It is drop dead gorgeous, but it's also really expensive. but I can kind of see because it's dual-sided, so it's got one color on one side and then one design on the other. So we're going to dovetail this emerald green, and we're going to go 9 inches for the tail length, and we are going to measure out 4.5 inches for the loop length. So I always bring it back to the 10-inch line so that when I'm dragging it out, I can actually see where that ends on my cutting mat. This way I know that both of my loop sizes on either side are exactly where they need to be. And then I'm going to do this and pull this out to 9 inches. There we go. Okay. There's that one. And I think when Shinoda had these glitter ribbon, I bought it in all the colors it came in. And I don't have too many of them left. So if I ever make a trip back to California, I'm going to have to stop and get ribbon. And that's a deadly trip. So I have no plans on doing that anytime soon, because I would stock up trying to. This sheer ribbon just wants to slide, so I'm trying to get a better cut. So I'm trying to hold the edges of it together so those don't slide, and I want a deeper V. There we go. Just little pieces. And so this one is going to be 8.5 inches. So we're going to mix this in the midst and hope that the background color of the green really enhances this. So this one's also going to be 4.5 inches. So I'm using the lengths that I've measured here by putting my fingers in and pulling to make sure they're exactly the same size. And we're going to do it here too. So I'm going to do it and then tighten it up. But then I got to bring it back over and make sure that my tail is at 8.5. And then dovetail that end. There we go. Okay. And then we're going to put our lime green in right here. So dovetail the end. Oops. And this one's going to be 8 inches long. We're going to twist, place on the inside. That way it gets those 2 different colors, one on the top, one on the bottom for that sheer. Now our ribbon length is only going to be 4 inches. So we're bringing it in 1/2 inch. So I'm just bringing it in, measuring. Oop, we're a little long. And then here we want it to end right at 8 inches. And that one will be done. Okay, last ribbon is that Shamrocks, two-tone Shamrocks. So dovetail the ends. Okay. Joan says, have you made a wreath with dark purple and contrasts of lilac and blue? Odd colors. Just curious. I'm looking at the colors of the ribbon that I have. Lilac, blue, and dark purple. I'm going to show you the ribbon. Let me finish this really quick. So it's 7.5 inches. So I don't think so as far as making a design like that. So we're doing 7.5 inches for the tail length, and then on the loop length we're doing 3.5 inches. So 3.5, and then we're bringing that one in. We want it right at 3.5, and then we want to bring this out to 7.5, and then we'll dovetail the end. Okay, there's that one. Right? It would be really pretty. Cheryl says, can I order from them? You know, I put in a custom order request for a lighthouse and they never replied back. So I don't know that their email, because I just said, hey, I'm looking, can you confirm if you have this lighthouse? I need to order it for custom order. Crickets. Crickets. Literally. Okay, so we're going to do white pipe cleaner. I'm going to pick this up. And then we're going to drop this down over the top. I'm going to hold at the bottom, and I'm just going to twist that stack of ribbon. Okay. I'm going to grab the fluff board, and we're going to fluff this. Okay. So I'm just going to hook my pipe cleaner on this C-hook, just like this. And I think I want this one to the side a little bit. I don't want it on the bottom because that's like where everything has been trending. So what I'm going to do is at the top, sorry. See, it's been so long I forgot. We're going to grab our tail. We're going to pull our tail to the right, loop to the left. Then go back to the other side, and we're going to go opposites. So my tail is coming out the left, and the loop is coming out the right. So they're directly opposite of each other. Okay, then here, I'm going to pull my loop to the right, tail to the left. Going over here, opposites. So the tail to the right, loop to the left. So it's going to stagger those colors as we continue all the way down. Now we are going to go our emerald green. We're going to follow the leprechaun hat. So our tail is here, or our loop is to the left, tail is to the right. And then over here, we're going to move the loop to the right, tail to the left. Okay. Here we are moving light color. We're following the shamrocks. So tails to the left, loop is to the right. Just like these ones. And then over here, loop is to the left. Oop, let me find the tail. Tail goes to the right. Okay. Now I don't want to do solid color on top of solid, so I'm going to split it. So I'm going to follow the one I just did. Tail to the left, loop to the right. On the opposite side, we're doing tail to the right, loop to the left. And then from here, we're going to switch it. We're going to go opposite. So tail to the left, or loop to the right, left. Loop to the left, tail to the right, and then here it is loop to the right, tail to the left. So you can kind of see what's happening here. We have our tails right here. We have our loops right here. Now we're going to fluff. So you're going to lift the top two. So the top two are going to go here. And then on the opposite side, they're going to have an alternating crisscross. Okay, just like that. Ignore the tails. Then we're going to grab the next two And I'm going to pull the emerald green over, but I'm going to keep the share in the center. Okay, and then from here, I'm going to do the same thing. Bring that sheer to the center, and the emerald green out to the side, just like that. And then we are going to move the bottom ones. I'm going to have this shamrock come between these two, and then this come between these two. Just open them up, give them some life by really opening them. So usually on the 2.5, I like put my 4 fingers in there, really give them a good strong lift and pull so that we have a gorgeous loops. So now we're just going to take and we're just going to draw our tails out with our fingers, and that just puts the little curl back in those ribbons like that. We can do it here, just like that, just like that. It's a little harder to see it on the bottom ones because we're laying it on a flat surface. But if we were showcasing this, I would make sure that you could see all the colors of all the ribbons, just like that. Okay. So now I'm going to take this off, and we're going to put on our sign. Before we do that, let's go ahead and add our business card to the back. We're going to go ahead and glue our business card on there. Just like so. And now we're going to go ahead and punch holes in the sign. So I'm thinking top and bottom. So I'm going to take my beadsmith metal hole punch, and we're going to go right in the center here, and right up in here. And this is just a beadsmith 1.5 millimeter metal hole punch. It works just like a hole punch does. And we're going to do 22 gauge floral wire. Oop. Got that one. I hate it when it's at the bottom because it's so tight on the bottom it won't lift up. So I'm going to feed my wire through the hole. I'm going to flip this over. And I am going to make sure that I have even ends. And then I'm going to take and build and twist my wire right over the hole. Just like that. And then we're going to grab the other side. There we go. Even. And then just twist right over the hole. It gives it about a 1/4 inch, little bit of a rise, and it keeps the sign facing towards the back of the wreath design. So we're going to go ahead and put this. I'm looking for my inside pipe cleaners. Remember those ones that we took off? We're just going to utilize those. And I want to make sure I'm not going through any Deco mesh that I want to use. So I'm just going to kind of move them in, move them down. He's going to kind of sit right there. So I'm twisting my wire for the sign right there. Okay, then we're gonna look for our other pipe cleaner, which should be this. It's right here. So I'm just kind of, it's gonna actually be white, so it should be right here. There it is. I was looking for the same emerald green and I'm like, wow, that's over way too far. Okay, so there's that. And we want to make sure that we're hitting it on both sides of our rail. Okay. So we're going to pull him down. I'm just making sure. Sometimes it feels so soft that I'm like, wait, did I miss my rails completely? So just very gently, you're going to lift and pull some of your Deco mesh to the outside, just to kind of feather the edge. I was kind of doing that when I was placing it in there anyway. Okay, and now right in here is where I'm thinking we're going to place our bow. So I'm going to kind of take this and angle some of my Deco mesh under. Might not need that much, but this will keep my bow from riding higher than I want it to. So I'm going to pull these down. This is where knowing where all your tails are has its advantage, because here's my tails, or not my tails, here's my loops. So my loop ends can actually sit right in here, a nice little brush up against the sign, and not take out my snowman. But I'm working right over. I am just trying to get, here it is, the end of my pipe cleaner. This is why pipe cleaners and me are not favorites. They're just so hard to work through, especially when you have a mesh like this where it's kind of like, it's got some metallic threads in it. So I'm going to push that down as far as I want to pull my bow in. Aw, thanks Sheila. She said, super cute. I love the green and the snowman. This is our snowman who just does not want to give up and go back quietly to his life and wants to participate in all things spring. So again, just make sure your loops are where you want them to be. This is where I kind of like our loops being able to cascade over the tops right here. And I'm just opening one of my loops there and just kind of pulling them all out. Look how adorable he looks. Just like that. He's a super simple little snowman. Okay, we're gonna embellish him a bit. So the first thing that I have for him is a centerpiece to his bow. So I happen to have one little shamrock. So that is actually going to go right inside the center of our bow. So I have some touch points that I'm going to make sure that we hit so that the bow will stay nice and pretty. I actually like the little touches of the shamrocks. And now we're going to pull some artificial shamrocks. So we're going to like pop that color in, specifically right here where we have the green, the limey green. I'm going to look, there is, so these actually have all three colors. You have the light, you have the dark. So we're going to take these and these are going to get blended right underneath those. So I'm just gluing them. And we are tucking these right underneath the loop. And then just making sure that we can see all those nice little clovers. So we're going to do it here, all where those colors are. And these were from Michael's a long time ago. I tried to find these online and I can't find them in similar fashion. So I'm not sure where you would go about getting a replaced, like, whatchamacallit? Just don't want to put my hand in the glue, but I want to make sure it goes back under the loop. I don't know where you would go about getting a similar, right? Who doesn't want a green snowman? He looks adorable. Okay. So we're going to do this one. And we'll also add a couple touches of the shamrock around the sign, just to soften that sign even further. Whoa. There we go. Make sure we've got all of those. There's more. And I'm just kind of placing these to the left of the loop. Okay. We're going to go right in here. Oop. This one actually kept the metal pick on it. So again, right under. I like using my needle nose because I can push it without sticking my finger in the glue. Just like that. So we have those nice little touches of the shamrocks that go all the way around. Okay, now let's look. I'm looking at the ones I have, because I definitely want to add some, like up in here, like right there. And that one's got too small of a piece. This one works. And kind of tuck this in right in here. Kind of like just having those little touches of the shamrocks just hit the sign, and it's still doing that weird ring. So let me kind of lift it so you can kind of see. So I'm going to see where that went, so that when I go and I hit it with my glue, I know where it's going to actually go in, which is kind of slightly under my sign, but just so that I can bring all those 3 colors out, like so. And we'll do it here. Now I miss having the green door, because I think this would look stunning on a green door. Oop. I'm trying to get them. I have like one that's stuck inside the other. Just like that. So a nice little ode to the shamrocks. And originally I had dogwood out here, like I have a green dogwood, but I'm thinking it's like really the wrong color. Let me show you. So this is like this color, and I think it really just, it taints the look. So if I was to pull one of these off and add that, it's got like a weird yellow color that I'm not fond of. So I think I like it like so. What do you guys think? Just like that. Just nice, beautiful, little, soft touches. Nothing way over the top. Let me show you what this looks like on the door. because it's so hard with the lighting that's here. So let me flip that. Okay. And then I'll show you the ribbon that I was talking about. So here we go. Ready? Right? It can't be overdone. It has to be very soft. So I'm gonna make sure I've removed my glue threads. And we're going to pop those ribbon tips so that all that ribbon that we have put in is all visible all the way through. Just like that, all the way into our bow. All of our ribbon tails on that bow. Let's turn him because he's slightly sideways. There we go. And then again, making sure that all of our tips show so you can see all of the things. There we go. Okay. So there is our St. Patrick's Day snowman. I'm going to zoom in for you so you can see him. What are you talking about, Cheryl, that they don't have them at the greenery market? You mean the Shamrocks? It might be Michael's. Oh, let me get rid of the... Does that... I'm waiting to see. I moved the light that's right on our snowman, so I'm hoping that goes away in a sec. There it goes. Now you can see him. That's our snowman. He looks adorable. Right? I'm trying to like dodge it. Okay, go this way. It's weird when you look at the camera, you are going opposite the direction you want. But yeah, he looks absolutely heavenly. Perfect. Like he was made to be a St. Patrick's Day snowman. So there you guys go. We have done it. So if you're interested, private group still has openings. Sign if you want it is at Pam's, at Personalize It by Pam. Ooh, let me show you the ribbon. So, look at this ribbon. You guys ready? Look how pretty that ribbon is. Isn't that gorgeous? It's got the purples. It's got the blues. This is going to be coming in a design next week. So I just got the ribbon in today. So, there you guys have it. Hope you guys will join me next week because those are going to be an over-the-top design. Right, Cheryl? Look, it's got light blue, like a periwinkle color, and it's hydrangeas. It's all hydrangeas. So, right now, Hobby Lobby has florals at 40% off. So if you want your florals, go get them at Hobby Lobby. But that's all I have for you guys. So thank you for joining me, and I will talk to you all real soon. Bye for now.